A South Carolina man is now facing federal charges in connection with a cross-burning incident against a black Charlotte couple. So a newly unsealed indictment claims Warden Butler made racist Facebook posts directed at his black neighbors before burning a cross in his yard to intimidate them in 2023. Now, the victims are from Charlotte, but then have a vacation home in Horry County. So this is all happening in South Carolina. Butler already pleaded guilty to a state charge in connection with the incident. Joining us to talk about all this, Chief Legal Analyst Collie Rhodes. So, Collie, first let's talk about this. This is a case where somebody burned a cross in their yard. How then are you facing charges for something of somebody saying, hey, well, I can do anything I want on my property?
Yeah, that is a good question. Obviously, this person, if you're attempting to do things that are not hate connected, you can do them in your own property. And it depends on where you're doing it in your property. If your property is adjacent, facing, adjoining, it depends on where it is located to the other person's property. But this is, you're also looking at intent. He's charged with a couple things. You mentioned before in the intro that, yeah, on the state charges, second-degree harassment stemming from burning the cross and was sentenced to time served. But for the federal ones, he's facing using a fire to commit a felony and interfering with the housing rights of his neighbor. That's the problem. He used Facebook posts to say, I'm about to commit I'm going to use and scare these folks by burning a cross on my lawn to scare them out of this neighborhood. Those are the types of things that you can do. So yeah, he may have done it on his lawn, but the intent was to harm their housing rights. And the federal government said that no family should have to be fearful and should be able to feel safe in their own homes. Butler actions threaten that fundamental right.
All right, let's talk about that. I mean, this case has now moved to the federal level. So what does this tell us about what the prosecution is viewing and how they're saying about the severity of this crime?
It's a little bit of a different twist. Sometimes with drug charges, they start at the state level, and then if it's a whole lot of drugs, large amounts seized, then the federal government will come in. This is different. When you're talking about hate crimes, specifically states that don't have hate crime related type of charges, the federal government will then come in and say, hey, we can charge you and we can prosecute this type of case. That's the angle I think is happening here more than anything else. That look, we want to ensure that the criminal justice process is twofold. We want to have the punitive side and the rehabilitative side, but we also want to have the deterrent side. We want individuals to not want to do this. These type of charges, these type of cases stem from the civil rights movement in the 50s and the 60s, when you had cross burnings in the South on a regular basis, when the federal government was prosecuting these cases all the time. So this is the agency that has a history of prosecuting these type of cases. So it's justifiable and right that the federal government is handling this.
All right, so in 2026 now, what specifically then do federal prosecutors have to prove at this point to be able to show that this was a cross-burning situation that had the racist intent and this wasn't protected by speech?
Well, two parts. First of all, fire used because he's charged with using fire to commit a felony. So you got to show that there was fire being burnt. And then were you attempted to interfere with the housing rights of other folks? Their peaceful enjoyment. I have my property. I should be able to enjoy it without any fear of repercussion, anything connected to my race that's making me fear just sitting on my porch. Those are the types of things that they'll have to prove. And I'll say they'll point to his text messages to show that.
With this arraignment expected soon, real quick, what right now, what's going to happen next?
I mean, right now, hopefully his attorneys are prepping him and looking at some type of potential plea. I say it all the time. In the federal court, 90+% conviction rate. And so when they get you in those crosshairs, it's going to be hard to be successful at that level.
Collie Rhodes, appreciate your insight. Thank you so much.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.